these articles on Hatshepsut. It says the she king of Egypt, and it basically refers to her life and what. I want my books back. And
Why you say that to her? You just knew I wasn't gonna give
well,
them.
no.
I returned my.
It's hard. You gotta go.
Yeah, I call National Geographic.
Oh, you gotta call
They
it.
go online.
Call
And
Washington. It's,
You can go to his cabin and everyone get his copy.
I returned
He
mine.
don't like
that
it
I was-
anymore.
No, my son gave me one before I left. On
Okay.
Nubian culture, so
Okay.
I returned my.
Anyway, Queen Hatshepsut, like Imad said, was a part of the 18th dynasty in its fantastic glory. And her father was actually the first one that was entombed in the Valley of the Kings. Thutmose was the first, was the one who initiated the burials in the Valley of the Kings. And it was very significant there because his person, Ainu, who built that tomb, made an inscription in his tomb. I built a tomb of my master, no one seeing, no one hearing. Meaning the Valley of the Kings would be hidden away. And something we spoke about yesterday about the notion of the Israelites being enslaved here. The Valley of the Kings and all these temples here were done by a village of workers that were kept in close proximity to this area called the Village of Truth. And we could tell by their records just how well taken care of they were. Correct? So they call it Deir Medina today, but it was actually a village where the workmen were kept. And when they were housed, when they were segregated from everyone else, because they knew secrets that no one else should know. They knew the most vital things. They knew the tombs were. They knew how to build certain things, and they was like, okay, we'll take the best care of them. We'll provide everything they need, so they don't have to go anyplace else. All we want them to do is work on these projects. That's not slave labor. So if they were here, what were they doing? But again, talking about the story between Hatshepsut and her stepson, and also her aunt, being that Thutmose II was his father, and it was actually her brother, so which made her his aunt as well. The Thutmose I was the father of Thutmose II and Hatshepsut. Okay, so there's a lot of speculation of why when we go in there, you'll see certain things defaced. You see her images chiseled out of the wall. People say, well, Thutmose III must have done that in rage because she took his throne. So we have a different perspective on that. We being African people have a different perspective on that, because as she was doing her thing here, he was out fighting these great military campaigns. I tell you what, Ramses was actually trying to follow behind him because he was the most prolific ass kicker. Thutmose III. In fact, they call him the Napoleon of Egypt, but that should be the other way around. Napoleon should be the Thutmose III of France.
Right.
But that's how they do it. Anyway, he was out fighting these military campaigns. You speak about the battle Armageddon. He fought the great battle of the plain of Megiddo, which Armageddon comes from, in Canaan, against the Canaanites. He was the one that was going out and fighting the big battles while she was here doing her thing. So the country was able to be stabilized that way. So it appears to us that they didn't have any rifts. And when he came home, it wasn't a matter of who was the ruler. She stepped right aside. It wasn't no coup. He didn't have to take over. She stepped aside. But the things she displayed here were what they call sacrilegious, because these words, or the Medu Neter, are divine words which have invocation, properties to them. And when you write it, you're invoking certain things. When you put it on the wall, it's almost like it becomes alive. So she was saying things to them that were incorrect. She was saying that she had a divine birth and that she was able to rule solely. Now, there is no word for queen in ancient Egypt, or in the Medu Neter. The term is used is Hatshepsut1, which is the great royal wife. People say, well, why their women cannot rule solely? Because the rulership or the kingship was a part of the cosmic order, the way they saw things cosmically. In order for you to be a ruler or the king, you were embodied in it. When you were embodied with Heru, which is the masculine energy, you were a representation of Heru. But that office, I like to call it an office of kingship, was not solely for the male, was a dual part. It needed both parts to be there. And the Akhet in the cosmic law, Akhet, which is the feminine principle of it, is in fact the throne. So the woman is the throne which the king sits upon. So what she did was she disrupted this. And this is why she was also omitted from the king's list in Abydos. So she was a great figure, but she went away from things that were done for thousands of years. And this is how it was set up. So they left her temple there. They could have destroyed it like they did Akhenaten's, but they left it there. And in fact, Thutmose III built his right next to her.
Gave her some power and significance.
Right, so if he felt that she was a terrible person, they would have totally eradicated the temple, and he probably took over, but he built his right next to it. In fact, this temple you see here, the one all the way to the right, this ramp, that's the remnants of the mortuary temple of Mentuhotep II, who was 500 years prior to her, who she felt inspired by his great works. He was the one who reunified the country during the first intermediate period and reestablished what we call order. So, Imad spoke about also the great expedition to Punt. It's fantastic in there in the reliefs. Actually, you came inside, you saw the those plackets, the trees. They were imported from Punt. But what I like about the Punt expedition, it shows the two African nations actually doing trade with one another. And you can see Ati, who's the queen of the people of Punt, and the Kemetu coming there, visiting and trading goods between the two of them. And they were, they were good things back. And the people where they lived on these type of trees, the houses on the in the water. It's fantastic, in terms of the reliefs and what the detail they went into to trying to explain the people of Punt. You can also see the reason why they say it's by Somalia or the coast of the Red Sea is because of the type of fish that is replicated in the artwork is only found in that particular area.
Where's Punt?
Well, we're not exactly 100% sure,